Our brains lie to us daily in an hourly basis. And here's what I mean. So many times we will literally tell ourselves that are not true, things that are blatantly not true, to cope, to justify our inactions, our own inadequacies, so to speak. And think of an example that's happened in your life. There's been times, dude, where you know you should wake up early. You know you should. Deep down in your heart of hearts, you know you should do that. And then the alarm goes off, and that voice in your head says, you know what, you went to bed kind of late, you got to sleep in, you don't want to have bad performance, you don't want your performance to suffer, so just sleep in. And if that's what you believe, that is what you believe. I get it. But that's not the case for me. And when I hear that happen, I'll be like, you know what? Oh, that sounds nice. I'm going to just sleep in. I probably shouldn't go to the gym today. I shouldn't go on that run today because I went to the gym yesterday. I don't want to, overtrain. Like I said, if that's what you believe, my shit's probably not for you. Not what I believe. And when you give into that voice, it's the path of least resistance. It is literally like a lesser version of yourself to keep you the same, if not go backwards. It's the little man voice. And you hear it in all things. Like, maybe you shouldn't be working as hard. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't clock in on that Saturday. Maybe you should take some time off. Whatever it is, you hear that voice creep in. That is how we cope. Plain and simple. Like growing up, I heard the phrase so many times, dude. Money doesn't matter. Money doesn't make you happy. And I noticed on a financial spectrum, so to speak, this would come from the lower side. Those phrases would. And thinking about it now, I remember when I was on a train in Switzerland going to the airport, I was literally typing this out on my iPad. That's a coping mechanism. Like people who say, oh, the gym, the gym's meaningless, you just pick up weight. That's a coping mechanism. Like that's how people cope with their own inactions. They justify it to yourself. So the moment you can realize that that voice, it will almost always be apparent. Always. The lesser version of you will chime in and give it its 2 cents. That voice of fear, uncertainty, doubt, whatever it is, will always be there. And sometimes, like, part of my French, tell it to shut the fuck up. As simple as that sounds. And have it's the duality of man. Like on one side you have the lesser version of you, and then you have the version in your head that's can conquer anything. And it's realizing the difference between the two. I heard this great quote. The conversations we have with ourselves are often the most important. That's 100% true, dude. Like working this computer up here, getting to understand like when it's lying. And the way I do this, and I'll level with you right now, I am far from perfect. Fucking far from it, dude. Struggle with this shit on a daily basis, same as you. And the thing I've started to realize is when that voice creeps in, I ask myself the question, is that 100% true? Or is it just lying to me? Is it just blatantly lying to me? Because we will always move towards subconsciously that path of least resistance. And the difference between, average, good, and great is who listens to that voice more. That's usually the case. Like if I look back on peak performance in my life, it's always come from moments where I didn't listen to that voice. That voice didn't control me. It was present, but I tuned it out. That's why people say tune out the noise. It's also the noise up here, dude. That's part of it. And it's such a big part of it. I'm telling you, like, when you start to realize this with the gym, with running, with working, with doing the things you know you should be doing, that's when things start to change. And you can tune that voice out. Because doing the right things seems hard. It does. And I want you to change, like, so much of this game, dude, I'm telling you, is just mental framing. Like, switching your thought process behind making decisions, the do's and don'ts. And a big thing that I've started to realize is a lot of times we look at the things that we should do and then the things that we want to do, right? Like the things that we want to do, it's the lesser version of ourselves. It's eating shitty. It's loafing around. It's being a fucking bum. It's scrolling through social media. Like it's all that shit, partying, whatever it is. And then on this side, the things that we should do, it's working out, eating clean, pursuing that passion, staying in touch with family, having good relationships, like realizing your potential. That's the other side. And part of it is actually flip-flopping this. Because if you look at all the things that you genuinely want to do, in a sense, if that makes sense, like the things that you should be doing, you get to do all those things right now. Like those are opportunities, man. Like the fact that you get to work out and you got a body that's actually capable of doing so is a fucking blessing. Because eventually you won't. Sad truth. The fact that you have that voice in your head that tells you you are meant for more is an absolute blessing. Because someday it's gonna be gone, just like you. The fact that you have the ability to pursue something, to work harder, whatever it is, that is an opportunity in itself. Change the way you think. You get to do these things. Like when we often think of like do what you want, it's just moving towards lesser versions of ourselves versus just realizing the fact that these are all opportunities. The fact that we have all this potential and we can actually realize that. We turn potential to greatness. That's the biggest part of it, is changing your mental frame. The duality of man. The lesser version and the superior version of you. Which one are you going to decide to listen to? Because it's a daily battle. And the best thing that I've ever learned to combat this is just recognizing which is which. Because play the future, dude. The yin and the yang over here. If you listen to this guy, you know what that life looks like. It's mediocrity. It's regret. It's being average, if not below. And then this side, it's greatness. It's realizing potential. It's hard work. It's meaning. It's purpose. It's a great life. And every day we're presented with these little decisions, these little moments that seem like they have no bearing on our future whatsoever, but those cast votes every single day for the person you're going to become. And think about it like that.